Hi everybody, it's Dark Nerd Cosplay, and today I figured I'd make a video that I definitely wish I had when I started cosplaying back long time ago. And that's a cosplay makeup for dummies video. I feel like a lot of tutorials online are geared towards people that already know how to do makeup or are doing makeup to look good every day and aren't necessarily focusing on cosplay specifically. But this is a total basic rundown of everything that you may come across doing makeup for cosplay and what it is and how you use it, more or less. First of all, I'd like to say that cosplay makeup is so essential. If you choose not to do it, that's fine, but I wouldn't rule the option out just because you look like the character already or because the character doesn't wear makeup. So many characters in media are animated or they are from film where the actors are wearing makeup, so if you want to look accurate, then makeup is so important. And on top of that, you're going to be wearing wigs and costumes and armor, and you don't want those aspects of the outfit to drown out your face. In order for everything to balance, I think cosplay makeup is super important. On top of that, you'll probably be making videos or taking pictures or anything else like that, and cameras will be a huge part of drowning you out. That's why when you just do photo shoots in general, or even when you're doing like stage, like musicals and stuff, the lighting, all of that, it all drowns it out. You want to make sure you're seen. Enough of that. Let's start with the basics. When you are starting makeup, a good rule of thumb for keeping your skin clean and healthy is to wash it, obviously. And then you'll want to put on a moisturizer or a primer. These aren't the exact same thing, but they're really close to it. So, I mean, if you don't want to spend a ton of money on one or the other, either will work. There's definitely some differences. There's some primers with SPF in it, etc., but, you know, it's whatever works for your skin. There's not too much of a difference. But that will help you prep your face for makeup and keep your skin nice and healthy. The next two steps that I would say are foundation and concealer. Now, I found that a lot of people will do one before the other, but there is no right answer. Some people will want to conceal so they can get a nice neutral tone on acne and whatever, and then put foundation on. Other people want that foundation first and then, you know, touch up whatever wasn't covered by the foundation. Either works, and you don't have to use both either. Some people have really nice skin to begin with, so, you know, they only use the foundation, or vice versa, whatever. And before I go on, I do want to touch on order of makeup. There is no right order. Obviously you have to do some things before other things, but for the most part you can start with your eyes, you can start with your skin, you can start with your lips. It's just whatever's going to be most convenient for you, what's easiest. I know a lot of people will do eyes first so that they can touch up any fallout afterwards with foundation. I personally do foundation first so that I have a nice base going, and then I do all of the details with the eyes and whatnot. So it's just up to you, as long as you're doing certain things in the order. Obviously, you know, if you don't have a good base, then you can't do your contour and etc. So another thing that I have learned from a few makeup classes that I've done is setting powder. When do you use it? I always got confused if I just use it at the end of everything or where I put it in between, and the answer that I've collected, and this may not be entirely correct, but it's the simplest way of putting this. Setting powder is for wet products. So if you're putting on a wet foundation and then you're using a cream contour, then you'll want to set that after you've done that. If your contour is powder, like eyeshadow, then you're going to want to set your foundation before you start contouring with that powder. Again, setting powder is an important step if you want to make sure that everything stays on for as long as you are at a convention or doing a photo shoot or whatever it may be. But, you know, this is personal preference. Now, speaking of contour, there's a lot of different ways to contour. There's no right answer, and it really depends on your face shape. There are contour guides online that will show you, like, to contour here, etc. But you can't really take those at face value, like makeup, because your face is going to be different than those guides. I have found through practice where I like to contour the most because my face has a specific round shape to it. Especially if I'm doing guys, I want things sharper. If I'm doing girls, I want things nice and soft. So this is one of those parts that I can't explain to you. This will come with practice, but I can at least, give you an idea. Contour is your browner tones, bronzer tones. It sometimes is called bronzer, and those are the parts that you're going to want to put to make shadows on your face. So the biggest one being your cheekbones. You'll want to do this like line right here. It'll make your cheekbones come out. You might want to do your jawline so your jaw is more accentuated. You might want to make your nose skinnier. It's whatever you want, but it's so that you have those shadows to make depth on your face. Opposingly, you have highlight, which is the opposite. You'll put it in those places you want to come out rather than in. So cheekbones, the bridge of your nose. There's a few different places. It depends. Some people do like eyebrows. It depends, again, masculine, feminine, what your character is, how your face works. So again, a lot of experimenting and whatnot, but highlights are typically your lighter tones. Sometimes they'll have sparkles, like shimmer in them, depending, but you can always just use a lighter eyeshadow as well if you don't want that shimmer that comes with any kits you may have gotten. Moving on to what I would consider the next level is blush. And this is another one that's very subjective, but the basics is that most people will blush around their cheeks, around here, and you can find that spot by just smiling and finding the part of your cheek that comes out like that. And that's the basic place of blush, but there are a lot of other places that people will put blush if you're doing an animated character or someone that's just very jovial, like the tip of your nose, on top of your lips, eyes. There's a few places, and this will just help, make you look more feminine or look more jovial or look whatever. I know a lot of people, including myself, have always thought that if you're doing a masculine look, you don't want to do blush, and that's not true. All people have blood, because that's in the end what blush is. It's just blood. You're going to want to do at least a little bit of blush no matter what character you're doing. Unless you are doing someone that you want to look pale and dead. Again, up to you. But all people have blush, so I would recommend just doing a little bit, especially because your natural blush will be covered by all that other makeup, foundation, whatever, so you want to bring the color back to your cheeks. Now, we are getting on to a complicated part, and that is your eyes. There's a lot that you can put into your eyes if you so choose. This is another one where there are guides online to where you want to put certain colors, and it'll depend on your eye shape, but they can still be pretty useful in what shades you want where. So, for example, a lot of them will use like 1x4 maybe list of colors, and it'll say like 1 is your darkest color, 2 is your second darkest, 3 is your lightest, or whatever it may be. And it'll tell you like put 1 here, put 2 here, put etc. So this can really help you to get more depth in your eyes rather than just using one color for eyeshadow, as a lot of people do. But subjective, as I keep saying. But depending on how you do your eyeshadow, you can bring your eyes out, or you can make them deeper in, deeper set. Depends on the character, but there's a lot that you can do with that, and it really just depends on your character, your face already. But there's a lot of guides online for popular characters on how to make yourself look more like them, so you can look those up as well. The biggest thing is to make sure you're picking a good palette. If I'm going to wear colored contacts, or even if I don't want to pick the same color as my pupil most likely, because then they're just going to blend and you're not going to get a good contrast. They're not going to stick out, but that's just personal preference. The biggest thing is, you want a nice dark color here, something nice and not shimmery, but something that stands out on your lid, and then you can even blend it out more depending on how big or small you want your eyes. Which brings us to eyeliner. The biggest thing with eyeliner is to make sure that you know what type of eye you have. If you have hooded eyes, you're going to want to be really thin with your eyeliner. Otherwise, when your eyes are open, all of your eyeshadow makeup is going to be completely covered by that eyeliner that you didn't think was that thick until your eyes are open and all of a sudden it's all gone. So I would suggest doing very thin, if even any eyeliner, on this part of your eye. If you do want the wing, you can still do it, but that way you're not covering all your makeup. If you don't have hooded eyes, this is not really an issue for you, and you can do just about as thick of eyeliner as you want without worrying about covering up all the other work that you did. Eyeliner is another thing I strongly advise you use even if you are doing masculine characters, because like we said, they are animated, they are from film, they are whatever, they're fictional. They're still going to have these parts of their bodies accentuated, so you'll want to put even just a little bit. In using eyeliner, you can also change your eye shape a little bit, which will help you with those masculine characters if they have like thinner, longer eyes, or, you know, if you're doing other characters with really wide eyes. This is something where there are lots of tutorials online on how to make wider eyes or thinner eyes, and it will depend on how you do that eyeliner. Another thing you can do with eyeliner is white liner, which is like your normal black eyeliner but white, and you can use this in your waterline or even below your eye to extend the whites of your eyes and make it look like you have those big wide anime eyes. Eyeliner is just one of those things that takes practice, and you really just have to see what works for your face and what works for that character, but don't rule it out just because it is a little difficult to get used to, because it is so useful. Once you've done your eyeliner, I would recommend, before or after this step, like I said, there's no particular order, but I would do eyelashes. A lot of people don't have naturally long lashes, or they don't have dark lashes, and so this is another part of your costume that can easily be drowned out if you aren't careful. I have naturally long lashes, and I still use fake lashes because I just want to make sure that every part of me looks animated and looks fictional and looks like my character. There are tons of different types of lashes, and it's just another thing you'll have to experiment with, but the basic is that you want to put at least top lashes on and then use your mascara to just brush them into your actual eyelashes. If you aren't using fake lashes, definitely use mascara, you know, the little brush, and there isn't much to that either. You can even use fake eyelashes to help you with that extended eye look. So if you are using whites under your eye, then you can put your fake lashes under that new eyeline, and it's more convincing that you have large anime eyes. The next step I would recommend is lipstick, and this one is fairly self-explanatory. I think everyone's kind of seen how lipstick works in movies, but there's a lot more you can do with it in cosplay than just, you know, put it on your lips. There's such a thing as lip liner, which is similar to an eyeliner in the sense that it is a pencil of any lip color. It doesn't have to perfectly match the lipstick color you want to use, but it can be a really good tool for lining your lips so that you know where you're putting that lipstick and it doesn't end up looking like, you know, clown makeup. Something you can also use with lip liner is completely change your lip shape. If you cover your lips with concealer and start with a clean slate, you can redraw on, you know, a Cupid's bow lip or whatever different types of lips you may be using with that lip liner, and then when you fill it in, then you have a new shape. Lipstick doesn't have to be one color. I think that's something that most people don't know or don't realize. You can actually use multiple different lipsticks or shades of whatever to get a nice gradient, and that way your lips look more animated and 3D as well. There are lots of tutorials on how to do this online. It is actually a very popular style these days, so you can look those up. Another thing that's important to know about lipstick is you don't have to use lipstick sticks as lipstick. As long as you have a base, you can use eyeshadows to get a more desired color out of your lipstick. And then if you're worried about having a matte look after using your eyeshadow, there are transparent lip glosses out there that you can just put back on so it looks like it's nice and glossy, but it doesn't ruin the color that you just made. The last step to at least basic cosplay makeup would be your eyebrows. Now, eyebrows can be as easy or as complicated as you want them to be. If you are a lucky person that has thin blonde eyebrows to begin with, then you can just color them in whatever color you need, including any funky colors that your wig might be, and it should show up pretty well and you should be fine. If you have large, dark eyebrows, like I do, then this might not work as well for you. There are tutorials online to show you how to hide your eyebrows using a bunch of simple stuff like a glue stick and concealer. I won't get into that in this video, but there are plenty of tutorials online to show you. You basically glue down your eyebrows, and after a few layers of setting powders and concealers, you'll have a clean slate. You won't be able to see them at all, and then that way you can go in with your eyeliners or eyeshadows to completely redraw the shapes and colors of your eyebrows. This is a huge help to cosplayers that are, you know, cosplaying anime characters with purple hair or, you know, that have like super weird eyebrows. So this is definitely something to look into as well, but not a super important detail if you don't want to glue your eyebrows down, which is totally fair. It doesn't hurt your eyebrows, by the way. It's just a pain to shower afterwards. The last step I would suggest for cosplay makeup is setting spray. If you're going to be doing photo shoots or being at a convention for a long day, you'll want to set everything that you just put on your makeup so it doesn't smear as easily and it doesn't, you know, rub off. And that's a simple step. Setting spray comes any you know, drugstores, makeup shops, whatever. There's definitely different versions of it that will help to either make your makeup look matte or glossy or etc., but other than that, there's not really a ton of variation. You can get away with just about any setting spray. So yeah, that's about all that I have to say. There's a ton of other aspects to cosplay, like doing effects makeup and prosthetics and everything else, but that is the basics that you would need to just do any old normal character. So I hope that helped you, because it certainly would have helped me when I was little, trying to watch tutorials and being like, what the heck is setting spray and why am I using it? And if you want any more in-depth tutorials on any specific parts of this, or if you do have any questions, please comment and let me know. I would be happy to answer your questions, because I've been doing this for years and I still get confused, so I will do my best to answer your questions, and if another video is needed, I would be happy to make another one. Until then, thanks everyone for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe and everything. I don't post super often, but I'm going to make the new year better. I'm going to be posting more, so any support would help. Until then, check out my Instagram where I post more often, and my TikTok as well. I have Twitter and stuff, but that's not really as cosplay oriented as the other two are, so please check those out. Thank you so much everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.